Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I'm so excited to be doing this because I've been meaning to do this for so long, but I'm doing the Rory Gilmore reading challenge for a full week. So I've picked out 3 different books that I'm planning on reading throughout the week so I can get 3 steps closer to completing the Rory Gilmore reading challenge. I don't think I will ever be able to complete it because there are, I think, over like 300 books. And most of them are classics, and I don't often read classics. I do have to be in a very specific mood, but I do have 2 classics on this list, so I'm hoping that I will get over my fear of classics because one is quite small and one I've heard is quite accessible for a classic. So I'll just go through them all now. The first book that I'm going to read is The Picture of Dorian Gray. I got this really fancy edition for Christmas actually. I'm so excited to read this, and then afterwards I'm going to watch the movie because it has Ben Barnes in it. This is the first book that I'm going to read, and then I thought to break it up so I'm not just reading classics in a row. The Lovely Bones. I got this for $3 from a Vinnie's last year, and I've been wanting to read it for so long because I really want to watch the movie as well, but I never got around to it. But now is the perfect excuse to read this book. It's not too thick, so I'm hoping that it will be really easy to read. I believe it's like a mystery, maybe something paranormal. I'm not too sure. Excited to read it. The last book that I have for the week is The Crucible. I picked this because it's quite thin. I actually did find this last week at one of those like street libraries, so I got this for free. I'm hoping it's easy to read. I don't know. I do know that some schools did read this for like the HSC. I was not one of them, so I haven't read this. But the thing that I'm most concerned about is the font. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like really thick. And sometimes specific fonts in a book make me want to read it or not want to read it, and that is like the latter for me because I don't like it. But we'll see how it goes. It's about like the witch trials, I believe. Looking forward to it, and I hope it's good. I'm gonna start with Picture of Dorian Gray. I'm currently waiting for some bread to bake. If you hadn't seen last week's video, I was making rolls, but at this very moment, those exact rolls are in the oven. I'm excited to see how they go, but I won't really talk about them because you can watch last week's video to see more about the rolls. I have not had a great start to my little Rory Gilmore reading challenge. I think I read about 10 pages of The Picture of Dorian Gray, and then I went to a park with my parents. I saw some ducks. I'll insert the duck footage now. I had never seen a white duck before, so that was something new. But I don't know what I've been doing. It's 3 o'clock, 3:15 p.m. on the Monday. I filmed some TikToks for a giveaway that I was hosting. It's going to be closed now, but I just put up all the posts for it now. So I haven't really been reading. I'm going to get into this. Oh, the birds are out. I'm going to get into this so I actually have something to talk about. It's the next day now. It's about midday, so it's Tuesday today, but I have only read like 50 pages of this. But when I open it up, like, so here is where my bookmark is, it looks like I've read so much, and I was like, wow, I'm so proud of myself. But it's because the introduction is like a whole good chunk of this portion. I wasn't gonna read the introduction, but I'm really enjoying this so far. I haven't really had like too much time to read it today. I've been doing some of my assignments. I've got my due dates all up on the wall and they're in order so that I know what I'm going to do, but I've got lots to do, so I haven't really had a chance to read this. But the bits that I have read, I'm quite enjoying. The only thing that I don't love though is I recently saw a TikTok about how these like fancy classic editions, the paint wears off if you have like sweaty hands, and I generally do, so I've been like a bit nervous to hold it. What I did, I got my jumper sleeves and like rolled them over my hands as mittens to hold the book. I don't want the paint to come off because it's such a pretty cover, and plus this was $35, so I'm no chance that the paint is coming off. I'm going to take all the precautions. I will hold it like this if I have to, and I will. I don't know when I'll be able to finish because this is the second day of my little Rory Gilmore reading challenge, and I'm not even halfway through the first book. So lucky I did choose quite a thin book. This is the one I'm going to read on the last couple days, I guess. Still very excited to get to The Lovely Bones. I can't wait. As for Dorian Gray, enjoying it. Can't wait to watch the movie with Ben Barnes. And oh, have I been cut off this whole time? The day I'm filming this, it's like 2 days after Easter. So I've just like been sitting here eating a rabbit whilst reading my book. It's a great time. But that is all for now. I shall update you again when I read more. That's it for the moment. I've just had my lunch, but I thought I would show you my reading setup to read this book. I don't want to put the jumper on because it's not super cold, but it is like a bit cold. But I'm using the sleeves to hold my book. Maybe I just need a pair of gloves. I don't know, but this is working for me at the moment. This is how I'll be reading. Just thought you might be interested. Anyway, I'm going to read for a bit and then I'm going to my friend's house, so I probably won't get to read too much more today. Okay, it's much later now. I've got back from my friend's house, but it is 7:30 and it feels so much later because daylight savings has ended, so it's dark a lot earlier, but like it feels like it's nighttime and I kind of feel like I'm ready to go to bed. But I have not really read a lot of my book. I'm going to just keep reading until I'm too tired to read anymore. So I don't know how many pages that will be, but I will update you tomorrow. Okay, so it's Wednesday now. It's about like 1 o'clock, but I've finally finished The Picture of Dorian Gray. I really enjoyed it. I still haven't like really compiled my thoughts or anything in order to give it a star rating, but I will get that done at the end of the video. I'm still like thinking about what to give it. Just wanted to let you know that I finished the book and now I'm going to start my second book, which is The Lovely Bones. I am looking forward to reading this. I hope it will be great. So I'm going to start this today. I don't know when I'll finish, but I will update you if I have any thoughts that I would like to share on it. But otherwise, I'm going to go and give this a read. I'll be back soon with some thoughts. Hello, I just got back from a walk. It is Thursday and it's 4:43 p.m. and I realised I haven't done a little reading update today. My camera is all over the place. I'm so sorry. I've read about a third of The Lovely Bones and let me just say, it is pretty good. Like straight away when you start the book, it gets like right into the story. It gets quite intense really quickly and I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't really know too much about this book before I went into it. All I knew is that the movie adaptation has Saoirse Ronan in it, so I was like, don't know what it's about, but I'm interested to see, and it is quite interesting. So I'm like 112 pages in and I'm enjoying it. That's really all I have to say. I've been doing one of my assignments like nearly all day today. I haven't even got halfway through that assignment, but I'm getting there, so it's okay. But I haven't really had too much time to read this book, but the internet hasn't really been working too well all day, and I was planning on watching The Prom Pact tonight. That's like a new Disney movie and it sounds really good. I've seen lots of like TikToks on it and I was hoping to watch that tonight, but if the internet's not working, I won't be able to, which means I'll have more time to read this book. And so either way, I'm still having a good time because either reading this or watching that new movie. If you've seen that, let me know what you thought about it because it looks pretty interesting. That's basically my little update for today. I'll be back tomorrow for another update of where I'm up to in this book. Who knows, it might be finished by tomorrow. It is nearly 3 o'clock, it's Friday right now, and I've been doing my assignment for most of the day and I am sick of it. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm really not enjoying it. I mean, who enjoys assignments? I don't know. I've got my book here. I'm sure like you're waiting for the update. You probably don't care about my assignment, but I'm about halfway through. The internet did end up working last night, so I did watch the Prom Pact movie. I quite enjoyed it. It was pretty good. So I didn't end up reading last night. I think I will be able to complete this challenge and have the 3 books done by the end of the week, which is what I was hoping for, but this is The Crucible, which was quite thin. So I'm hoping that once I finish this, I will be able to finish this pretty quickly. But it's my little reading update for the moment. This is going quite well and I do really want to read it right now, but I have to do more of my assignment. Like I know I just said I didn't want to do it anymore, but I have to. In case you're wondering, it's for anthropology and it's about cooking. It's interesting, sure, but like I'm just having trouble finding all the sources. Not like sources as in sources for cooking, but like sources as in resources. I'm gonna go so that I can do a whole nother paragraph and then stop and read this for a bit. So yes, that's my little update. Hello everyone, it is Saturday today and I have finished The Lovely Bones. I finished this at about like 10 this morning, and then I've started The Crucible. I haven't got very far in. I've read like 4 pages. I really haven't been doing much today. I'm hoping that I'll finish this by the end of tomorrow so that I can complete my little challenge for the week. I have thoughts. I will share the thoughts at the end of the video, like when I talk about all the books together, but like, I don't know, I'm just like, it's still fresh in my mind because obviously I just finished it, but I'm confused a little. So far, of the 4 pages that I've read of this book, it's not super easy to follow. 4 pages isn't a lot, so I don't really know what's happening anyway, but it's a play and I didn't know that, which is fun. The next time you'll see me, I'll be giving a little wrap up of all the books, so I will see you then. Goodbye. It is Sunday and it's the final day of my Rory Gilmore reading challenge, and I have finished The Crucible. I got up at 6 o'clock so that I could read this. I had about like 80 pages left. I woke up so early and I'm exhausted right now because I wanted to finish this book. It took me so long and I was barely even on my phone. Like, sure, I did go on my phone like just a couple times, maybe just a few, but it still just took me so long to read, and I wasn't understanding why. I think I finished it at about like 11 o'clock, so 5 hours. 5 hours to read the book? Doesn't seem right. It really doesn't, because considering how small it was and how much I had left, I don't know, it was a little suspicious. I did fall asleep. Maybe that is why. But like only for like 10 minutes, but I did. It was a little boring. So I guess this is the first one that I'm going to do my review about, just because it's fresh in my mind, but I am going to give this a, let's give it a 2.25. Like, it's just under the middle. It was interesting enough, but like also not interesting at the exact same time. Like, that's why I fell asleep. I did kind of like zone out a bit and stop reading who was speaking, because it is a play, so it has like their name and then what they're saying, and sometimes I did forget to read those bits, so I was a little confused sometimes because I didn't really know who was talking. I liked the whole witch trials thing, which is obviously what it was about. The ending, I was a bit confused, like what was the point? I don't really know. So yeah, 2.25. I wouldn't read it again, I don't think, but also I just found out that because I was looking at the front and it says Arthur Miller, our good friend here, he also wrote Death of a Salesman, which is another really popular play, which I had heard about, but I didn't realise that he wrote this as well. I mean, I liked the whole witch aspect. That's probably the only thing that made it good. Otherwise, the men were really annoying. That's all I have to say. Next, we'll go to The Lovely Bones. What did I end up giving this? Let me check my Goodreads. I enjoyed it for the most part, but let me get my rating. 2.75. Okay, that's right. I forgot. It's been like, what, 2 days? How did I forget already? And I really liked it. I really liked how, like, straight away you get right into the story. I liked how the whole book is told from Susie's perspective, even though she's dead. So she's a good narrator because she's talking about how she feels herself, but she can also see everyone else's lives that she wouldn't otherwise have seen. I did like it. However, towards the end, I was just a little bit like, why are you wasting your time right now when stuff could be happening? So I'm gonna put a little spoiler warning here. Go to this timestamp if you don't want to be spoiled. But towards the end, she possessed Ruth. Is that her name? Ruth? Can I find that name? I think her name's Ruth. Ruth? Yes. She possessed Ruth. So she was in Ruth's body. Now, the characters that she had left, they're probably all like, what, mid-20s now. So she died when she was 14. Like, this is 8 years later when she possessed Ruth. So she's possessed Ruth's 22-year-old body, and she is still like basically a 14-year-old girl. I mean, I know like if she was living with the people at the same time, but she's not because she's a ghost. So I don't understand, but 14-year-old Susie possessed Ruth to have a special moment with her first kiss / high school crush, Ray. And she could have used that time to go, hey, here's my body and here's the murderer, so go find me. Like, I was so mad because it was right by the location as well. I was like disappointed with that. And the murderer ended up dying, which I was just like, why? Good that he's dead, but like, why couldn't have he been in prison? Anyway, this was interesting. I really liked the whole like first half, just the end when she had possessed Ruth. I was like, what is going on, guys? What is going on? But otherwise, I'm looking forward to watching the movie. So yes, that was The Lovely Bones, 2.75 stars. And then the last book in the reading challenge is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This was my favorite out of the 3 books that I read for this little reading challenge. I gave this a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I was really worried at first that I wouldn't be able to understand it because sometimes classics can be a bit much for me. They just take a lot of effort to try and understand what they're saying, because obviously it's not in modern day English, but this wasn't too long ago, so it was like a little better, because I don't know if it was, look, I don't have a timeline for anything in my head about when books were released, except like ones that are current, but I don't know when this was released, but it was easier to understand than Pride and Prejudice. I had so much trouble with that. That was my first classic I read, and I don't know if that was like a mistake on my part, because I was confused. I was like, what's going on? How are they speaking right now? Like, I don't know, but this one was a lot easier to understand. I don't know if this was much later than Pride and Prejudice, or if they're around the same time. I don't know, but this was really good. I loved the concept. I did already know a bit about it, like the general storyline before reading it, but I was excited to see how it played out. Loved the ending. I was, let me say, just very shocked at one portion. Spoilers here, it's probably only going to be like 10 seconds, but whoa, skip to this timestamp. I'll wait for you to leave. When he stabbed the painter, I was like, whoa! I wasn't expecting it. I didn't think he'd be a murderer, but like stab, stab. Okay, goodbye. What was his name? Basil. Poor Basil, honestly. But really enjoyed it. It was a very nice like gothic book. And now I want to read more gothic literature, perhaps Jane Eyre, but that's really thick and very daunting. But this one, very enjoyable, and you'll be glad to know that none of the paint has come off the book. So if you hold it like this, you're going to be all good. So those are my 3 books that I read in the Rory Gilmore reading challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe. I would like to know what books you've read off the Rory Gilmore reading list. Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like me to do another video like this, because there's like 400 books on her list, so I can do multiple parts, let me know. But Rory Gilmore's reading taste, it definitely goes together. All these books had a very similar vibe of like death and spookiness. So there we go. Those are the vibes of Rory Gilmore. Of these 3 books anyway. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next week with a new video. Goodbye.